Hey there, Internet Explorers. I'm Online Odysseys, and welcome to RedditRuined, a series where I discuss the rise and fall of some of the most infamous subreddits over the past decade. Today we're diving into the demise of a community that once thrived on controversy and cringe. TumblrInAction, a subreddit that, despite having more subscribers than the infamous and well-documented cringe anarchy at the time of its ban, has rarely ever been talked about or covered extensively. Our story begins in November of 2012, an era of the internet where everyone's YouTube homepage would have at least one video titled something along the lines of "Delusional Feminists Destroyed by Facts," regardless of their browsing habits. And scrolling any social media website without seeing the word cringe a dozen times was impossible. It was during this time that Reddit user Evil Fucking Psychopath, frustrated with Emily 14's grandmother constantly posting to his diverse community site, Tumblr, he decided to create the now infamous TumblrInAction, a community to document and ridicule the more unconventional aspects of Tumblr culture with a short list of rules to keep the community in line. Don't be a massive twat. We're here to make fun of Tumblr social justice activists, but we're not here to outright troll them or personally attack them. You can joke about them and write negative comments about them, but don't send hate messages to their blogs or insult their personal family lives or whatever. I'd also rather you didn't make fun of people with genuine problems like cancer and depression, but feel free to make fun of anyone who's self-diagnosed with something and is clearly bullshitting. You know where the line is. Don't post personal information. Personal information includes full names and locations of bloggers. I don't care whether or not it's in the blog, don't copy it here. You will be banned. This is to ensure we comply with the rules of Reddit, as well as a few additional rules covering what is considered appropriate content for the sub and what is not. And most importantly, remember to have fun at all times. With a sidebar that also encouraged users to explore tags like social justice, privilege, feminism, and otherkin in order to find easy posts for the sub, you can imagine the kind of content that flourished on this subreddit. Friendly reminder that keeping plants in your house without their permission is slavery and kidnapping. I honestly cannot tell what's serious anymore on this godforsaken website. It's genuinely depressing how brainwashed you are. 15 and already so much internalized misogyny? If you ever need to talk to me, I'm here. How is liking men internalized misogyny? Also, I'm not brainwashed. I don't know where you got that. To answer both of those questions, you like a group of people who basically exist to exploit you. In otherkin, explaining they are married or soulbound to a horse. A man walked past me. Male privilege. Oh, you cranky little feminist, you. Just so angry. Grr. The fact that pretty teeth are only known as white and straight is a manifestation of our hatred for minorities. When people find a way to turn dental hygiene into a social justice issue, that's when you know this website has gone overboard. The subreddit, despite growing to over 250,000 members by 2014, would remain mostly unchanged until July of that year, when the subreddit's creator would announce the sub had grown beyond his interest and was becoming far too much of a time sink for him to continue with. When I first started TIA, I just wanted a place to put the Tumblr social justice warrior stuff that shit Reddit says didn't seem to care much about. I had no idea it would get this big, and it shocked me when it did. TIA is almost 2 years old, and I, along with the growing mod team, have been working on keeping this place awesome all the time. We like to think we've done a good job. It's more of a circle jerk now than it used to be, but we still have discussions. We still have good content, and most importantly, our community, by and large, have remained awesome too. But all of this has meant I've spent a lot of time on this website. Even when I'm out doing other shit, I'm checking my phone to make sure everything is going smoothly here. After almost 2 years, it's gotten to a point where I spend so much time on Reddit, it distracts me too much from my real life and puts too much extra stress on my already not so great mental health. So I'm leaving Reddit, but it shouldn't affect you as a user. TIA is now bigger than me, and I have appointed a very good team of mods to keep the place ticking. I trust them to continue doing what is best for the subreddit and for a normal service to continue uninterrupted. All of the best, TIA, and goodbye. During the next few years, the cringe culture of the internet would begin to shift. Topics like radical feminism, otherkin, and social justice all began to slowly lose steam in the world of online discussion, with fewer and fewer voices being loud enough to garner any kind of attention or reaction from the larger internet. Not to say these communities disappeared entirely, with otherkin posting actually having a decent-sized community to this day, especially in the TikTok and Shorts demographic. During this time, discussion in TumblrInAction would also begin to shift. By 2016, most of the front page featured posts on cultural appropriation, race, and gender, as well as the erasure of cis white men, more resembling a combination of men going their own way and gender critical than its original Tumblr-based roots. Kids in 1995. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Adults in 2021. Words are literally violence. Thank you, Tumblr, for ruining an entire generation of activists. Ohio University is eliminating whole departments, African American studies and gender studies, while the football coach is collecting $651,000 a year. Universities are finally closing worthless grievance studies departments. Voltron appropriates Asian culture. Why do I have to keep telling people to tag dark skin? Hashtag I'm white. What the fuck is wrong with white people? Wait, you have the edit and the delete button in that screenshot, which means you made this post. For the next few years, TumblrInAction would fly mostly under the radar, going rather unnoticed by Reddit's admin team, quickly becoming a hub for discussion on the most controversial and censored topics on the site, after a boom of gender-critical content stemming from infamous celebrities like JKR drawing more attention to the movement. However, this in itself wouldn't become a real issue until 2 years later in 2022, when Reddit updated their own terms of service to crack down with a hard stance on transphobia, requiring all instances to be removed regardless of intent. As a result, the sub itself would begin to devolve into chaos. Invalidating or misgendering someone in the LGBTQ+ community is going to be covered by our hateful content policy. TumblrInAction cannot possibly function with such a rule. So this is it. We have officially lost our ability to can. We literally cannot even anymore. This is what we understand. The entire concept of transgender is now a global Reddit violation. All the next sites end up dying. The only big place where you can get away with being anti-trans these days is the YouTube comment sections of a YouTuber who agrees with you, which is not ideal. I have a cringe fetish and I will not be kink shamed. Literally 1984. As a gay man, I was saddened to have the woke cult kick me out of the LGB spaces for refusing to drink the Kool-Aid. Sayonara, fellow shitlords. All this shit about hurt feelings on Reddit, and we have to silence everyone that doesn't think exactly what we think to tell them to think is fucking horseshit. I used to consider myself fairly liberal, but the social justice warrior woke pushing agendas and policing thought crimes has me moving to the conservative side. It was fun while it lasted here. Thank you for being part of it. The TumblrInAction mod team would respond by pinning the following comment to every new post. Important. Reddit's owners have introduced a new content policy, which now forbids most of the content featured here. See this post for the latest details. Your posts and comments may be removed by Reddit administrators. It's certain that TIO will be banned soon. Please join us on our backup site. Censored. I'm not doing it. In a final attempt to keep the subreddit from going down, the mod team would suggest that people revert back to the golden age of TumblrInAction, trying to focus their content on less serious topics. Let me start by saying this. We're not going to stop you from posting things you've been normally posting here. This is an extensive update to prioritize some content over another or anything like that. Rather, we would like to encourage you all to find the stuff that was once enjoyed by the old TIA. This primarily means content related to misinjury, healthy at every size nonsense, OC sexualities, xenogenders, and neopronouns, headmates, multiple systems, disorder fakers, and other kin. We're doing this because there are a lot of people who are getting rather tired of the overflow of trans politics and the general bitterness of the commenters here. So we figured it might be worthwhile to promote the sort of wild and crazy content that we were built on. Again, we're not forcing anything here. This is an encouragement to post that content and not a demand to do so. If it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick, and that'll be it. However, unfortunately, their attempts to revamp the sub would fall on deaf ears. In the last few months of TumblrInAction's existence, the front page was almost exclusively gender-critical and downright transphobic content, the subreddit itself seeming to be pushing back as hard as it could before its inevitable removal. And so, on June 20th, 2022, TumblrInAction finally met its end. Banned from Reddit. A decade-old relic that marked an era of internet cringe culture and a downfall that reflects the evolving landscape of online discourse, with actually a surprising amount of backlash, I might add. This poll on an outside subreddit actually shows a fair amount of the community being unhappy with the decision. However, with any banned subreddit, you will always find a part of the community who believes that a right to free speech should surpass any content policy. So that's it for this episode of Reddit Ruined. If you found this exploration into the rise and fall of internet subculture as fascinating, and you want more insights into the ever-evolving hell site from somebody who's been here entirely too long, again, I'm Online Odysseys, and until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep exploring the digital realms.